Welcome back, guys. We're back on the account I created the other day when I did the video showing you guys how to use my unique link to start your raid account with two awesome epic champions, one that you got in your inbox right after the tutorial and the other that you're able to redeem as soon as you hit level 15. As I expected, it did not take much to hit level 15, and I'm going to go over that with you guys. I'm also going to give you a bit of a rundown on the champions and their skills, talk a little bit about the login legendary event that all players can claim just by logging into the game for 7 days. We're going to do all that, and I'm going to go over a little bit of what your strategy should probably be if you did start an account, especially if it's your first account, you're not that familiar with how to play raid, and what I'm going to be doing on this account going forward. So let's get right into it. Welcome to the channel, guys. Thanks for being here. I basically got the account to level 15 and then just like closed it. I didn't want to have too much to keep track of, and I kind of wanted you guys to see like basically right when I got to 15 what I had achieved at that point. So I unlocked a bunch of stuff because you unlock it like, I don't know, it feels like every level from level 8 on, and probably more to come at like levels 25 and 30 or who knows what. So I'm just going to go click through all these little notification dots because it's a habit. But basically, I think I got a couple ancients, one from like a pack. I didn't buy anything. I think this is just going to turn into a free to play by default, you know, however useful that might be. But I think I pulled one or two ancients during the event. I got rares. I don't even think I got an epic. Before we get started, let me just go over the whole unique link situation. So I have a link that's in the description box below that will allow you to start a brand new raid account, and 2 epic champions will be redeemed when you use that link, one as soon as you're done with the tutorial and one by the time you hit level 15. So if you weren't here for the previous video where I went through that, you can definitely go watch it, and I'll walk you through step by step exactly how to start your account and get through the tutorial, who to pick as your starter, all that. But yeah, that's just to catch you guys up to speed. If you're here for the first time and you're interested, the link's right down there, guys. And if you've already done it, then definitely remember, if you're within your first 24 hours and you have not redeemed a promo code for a free champion, guys, do it, because I'm pretty sure most of these go away after you hit 24 hours. And if you've been leveling like crazy, they'll go away sooner because they go away when you hit level 15. I already did it. Here's the champion that I picked, and this was just because I thought if I play through this account kind of as a way to illustrate for the viewers what beginning an account in raid in 2025 looks like, I kind of wanted to pick somebody that was good in Hydra. So I ended up going with, down here at the bottom, I'll go ahead and collect him, Mordecai. Damn pop-ups. Now, Mordecai is really good for a couple things. Probably his primary thing is that he places HP burn without doing a hit. So if you're new to raid, that's a whole mechanic thing that you have to learn. But these things called affinities, which is this little symbol for him, he's force. It has a red skull. Real quickly, I'll show you guys. Then there's the blue fire, that's magic. Then there is the green lightning bolt, that's spirit. And there's one more. The purple triangle is void, and that's basically like the neutral affinity. So it's not strong or weak to anybody, which has its advantages and disadvantages. But with a person like Mordecai, when you're in Hydra, none of the bosses are void ever. Or I should say, it's all one boss. There's no void heads. Anyway, champions that have an affinity and the affinity that they're going up against is strong to them, meaning that they're weak to the boss, they can have a chance to weak hit on attacks that place debuffs that are very valuable, especially ones like HP burn, where this champion's damage is going to come exclusively from HP burn. That's what he's bringing to the team. That's what his role is. And because he places it, there's never a chance to weak hit. There's always a very small chance, like 3%, that he could get resisted and the buff just doesn't, or the debuff just doesn't place, but he's never going to weak hit on an ability that doesn't hit. So it's really good to have that for a specific mechanic called Poison Cloud that the Hydra clan boss can do that makes all your hits weak hit. So that's a phenomenal reason to pick Mordecai to do damage in Hydra, as there's 4 heads, so HP burn's a great debuff. He also does have a couple other factors to him. He has a 100% chance of decreasing turn meters of all enemies by 15% and boosting his own team. So it's kind of like, I mean, obviously speed matters. So if your team's slow and they're faster, vice versa, it will not be an exact 30%, but it's almost like a 30% boost if he has enough accuracy to push back enemy turn meter. Unfortunately, that does not work against most bosses, so it's not going to work in the Hydra, but he will still fill his allies' turn meter. He has an aura for accuracy, which is pretty good because he needs accuracy. 40 is pretty low, but he's an epic. And then also, I thought it was on his A2 actually. I thought it was the turn meter. On the ability that places HP burn, he also buffs his whole team with increased attack for 3 turns. That's very unusual. To do a really good damage debuff like HP burn, which ticks based on the boss's HP, so it will hit for more on bosses that have more HP, and buffing your team with something as universal and often needed as increased attack, that's pretty rare. And he puts it up for 3 turns. That's even more rare. So he's going to have a 4-turn cooldown on this, but allies will have increased attack after he pops this ability for 3 turns. That's awesome because he's there for the HP burn, right? That's his main thing. That's where he shines. The increased attack is just an added bonus. So anyway, I did that for Hydra. etc. I decided that I was not going to worry too much about picking a legendary, and I think that I'm going to be okay with both Ethel, whoever I happen to pull, and then redeeming Alice. I'll be okay on nukers. So yeah, that's what I decided to go with. He's actually going to be able to do a bit of damage in Demon Lord as well, even though he's much better in Hydra since there's 4 heads and the Demon Lord is just one unit, one thing. He really is a thing. If you haven't seen him yet, go take a look and you'll agree with me. But anyway, so here's what I did when I was leveling the account from like right out the tutorial. I just came in here, and if you are a new player, if you're an old player, bear with me, sorry. But if you're a new player, you may not have noticed this. The way that you 3-star these stages is with 2 or fewer champions. So you can solo it, that's fine. But you can also do a duo, but the duo, neither duo can be dead at the time that you achieve victory. So when you kill the last enemy, you both have to be alive. You can die and get revived, which is why Ugo's so amazing in this role. I actually didn't realize how badass Ugo was because legitimately it's been years since I started an account from ground zero. But Ugo is dynamite. Ugo's so good. She's got the heal. Now I will say real quick, just because I thought of it, her AI is dumb. So if you're autoing and you're struggling with the stage, don't auto. Manual, because she'll immediately heal at the beginning of the second wave when everyone's full health. I'm not really sure why she does that, because like her ability doesn't make sense to use there, but maybe her AI is just not, I don't know. I really don't know why, but you don't need that heal then, and you might need the heal or a revive later, because usually in these early stages in campaign, the third wave is the hardest, and that's where you're the most likely to have the least HP because they've been chipping your HP down the whole time. You get to third row and you might not even be starting out with full HP. So anyway, what I did was I went through, and I think I was just distracted. I went through a few stages with like 4 champions in, which means when you win, everyone's alive, you only get 2 stars based on this right here, right in the middle. Beat stage, no losses, 2 stars. So as soon as I noticed it, I went back and redid all the 2-star ones, which was only a handful, it was very few, and then just let Ethel and Ugo push through by themselves. You can see, I mean, this is the last army I picked for it. There's 2 slots empty so that I can go ahead and get the 3 stars. And Ugo's so good. Ugo was hitting with like, I think no gear on for like 900 right at the beginning, which is pretty good because she has a 1-hit A1. And that's what I meant. Her default skill was hitting for about, I actually saw it go all the way up to 1400, but all I did for gear, right? So if you get 1-star gear, trash it. And by trash it, I mean sell it so you can get the silver. If you get 2-star gear, sell it. If you get 3-star gear from the rewards for beating the stages, which I already did, but I think it was like either at stage 1 or stage 2, at the end of it, you get like 6 pieces of 3-star epic life gear. That's not a good set, but at the beginning, you take what you can get. So that ended up going on, I believe, on Ugo. So yeah, see right here, and you get 6 pieces. Here's the other 2, but I was fine with these because they had some speed, which it didn't roll, which is awesome, but defense is helpful for her. And then this one was a defense main stat percentage. If you get flat stats on gloves and chest plates, unless you're an experienced player and you know how to kind of play the exception rule, get rid of them. I have not cleansed everything here, but for the most part, I've only put any gear on these 2. I literally don't think anybody else has gear. So I did use Sniper and Crusader a little bit. That's why they have 3 and 5 levels respectively. But the only gear is on these 2. And I'm going to keep playing this account. So if my opinion on this changes, I'll let you guys know. Please definitely throw your opinion or your experience in the comments below. But I'm just really trying not to level 3-star gear, guys. They might go to level 4 or 8. You can level anything you want to level 4. I really don't think it's worth it for like 2-star gear. I know it's not worth it for 1-star gear. Just don't even bother with that. But I feel like that for 3-star, you could take it to 8 if it's kind of right for the champion like these are. But I just wouldn't waste the silver. Like I'm really trying to go through and just use as little silver as possible. So that's why like her gear is 1 piece is at 8, everything else is at 4. And to be honest with you, these life artifacts right here, here, and here, they're at 4 because there's a challenge for that. And I'll go over those briefly in a sec. But right here, I did level the lifesteal gear because it was decent. It's not fantastic that it's rare just because that means it only has 2 subsets, you know, that can get extra rolls. But this one is kind of just like whatever. So I just held off on that. But I mean, as you can see, it's terrible gear. It's not leveled up. Nobody's remotely leveled up. I mean, Ethel is still 3-star. And all I did was go through campaign until they started beating me, manualed a few stages, realized that, you know, I could get through a few more by manualing it and making sure the heal happened at the right time and things like that. But then it got to the point where they were like really beating me down on the second wave. And so I just went in and equipped artifacts because literally up until a certain point, probably in stage 4, I don't know if any of them had any artifacts. They might have both been completely naked. And then once I did that, I was like, well, hell, I've got the life artifact challenge, so I may as well give Ugo the life artifacts and level him to 4. And that gave her a good bit more tankiness here at the very early stages of the game. And then I put a couple pieces of gear on Ethel that had like attack percentage or, you know, like the boots did, and a little bit of crit damage or whatever. But, and I can't remember, her gloves might be okay for her. Yeah, attack percentage. So anyway, even though they're not leveled up, she just gets 4%. And then all of these besides defense are good for attack champions. And she can use defense at the beginning too, because you're trying really hard to stay alive. But that's what got me to 15, guys, is just campaign right up to here, beat that boss, and didn't even need to. Okay, I did too. I attacked too. And I think this one just kind of wrecked me. We'll go check it real quick. Yeah, these, I mean, you can see, so the red, Arbiter went over this in the tutorial, but the red arrows mean that you're weak to them. So it's going to be harder. We might get away with it because we have all our good skills, but like, look at that. That's a big chunk for just one hit from an enemy. And there's 2 more right here. So now we get to a point where it's like, oh, Ugo doesn't have her AoE, neither does Ethel. We're potentially weak hitting. Weak hit, well, we didn't weak hit, but we didn't crit there. And look at, they're just chunking Ethel's health. Give a little heal. It'd be funny if I got through it since I said something. Probably should have killed the dog, but I'm always in the mindset of like trying to hit the people that I'll get the most value out of. Probably need to stop doing that. I think we need to AoE or we're possibly just dead. I'm gonna hold off on the AoE here. Ugo's not ready to go yet. This guy's about to go, so I'm gonna kill him. Ugo might be able to hit this one. No. Okay, so see, there I go down, and I just healed. So now I gotta wait, see if Ugo can survive all those turns to get back to the revive. Now, this is the cool thing. Ugo has a very conditional revive. Her skill is a heal that removes all heal reduction debuffs and removes one other random debuff from all allies and becomes a revive when Ugo's the last one alive. Well, guess what? When you're in a duo and Ugo's by far tankier because she's a whole rank up from your starter champion, she's going to be the last one alive all the time, and that heal is going to immediately revive Ethel, because sometimes what'll happen is you'll have multiple champions and one of the champions will die, but then one of them will stay alive and Ugo will actually die before that final one dies. When it's a duo, that champion dying means that Ugo immediately gets to use that as a revive. So it looks like we will get Ethel back up here on the last, but see, these 2 shatter bombs right here, they actually hit pretty hard. I think I'm going to let them go one time because they're going to bully Ethel if I pick her back up. Oh, they're bullying Ugo. Jesus. Shit, Ugo's probably going to die from the bombs. Yeah. See, this is like, we might get lucky. No, Ugo's dead from the bombs. There's no way. Oh, she's dead from that. So that means that even if we win, which we're not going to, that we wouldn't get the 3 stars because one of our champions is dead. Yeah. So that's a pretty strong stage for me right now. Obviously, it makes sense because they're level 26, 24. They've got no ascensions. They've got terrible gear, nothing. Point being, all you got to do is click next on campaign a bunch of times to get to level 15. It's easy. And then I went in, again, you saw that 2 of my champions have gear and did a few battles in arena. I didn't even attack them. Like, I didn't attack them and fail. I just didn't attack them. But beat all these teams, which, I mean, they're not great teams. But it's easy at the beginning of the game if you know what not to do and you're not too hard on yourself. Real quick, let me go over the missions. So these missions, you just want to try to keep track of them because sometimes it'll be something like this one right here is a perfect example. Clear stage 1 of the arcane keep. Actually, that's not a perfect example. It made me think of a perfect example. Arcane keep's open all the time, but like if you keep going, it's going to end up saying a different keep that's not open all the time. Come on now, am I missing it? Well, maybe I stand corrected. Remember, I did say that it was a really long time since I started an account from the beginning, but I actually don't see anywhere that is going to be on rotation. So later you'll get missions where it says to do like the void keep, and the void keep's only open like 1 day or 2 days, depending, 2 days maybe, a week. So you can't attack it every day. So you want to keep track of where you're at with these so that you don't kind of pass one and then end up holding yourself up. Oh, I got to wait 3 days for the void keep to come back open, but it doesn't look like that happens for a while. So that might be on another stage. These seem pretty easy. Summon champions, arcane keep. I already did that one. When it's like this and it's filled out, you'll get it as soon as you get there. It'll go ahead and like automatically be filled for you. This stuff is easy. 1 skill tome. Get a referral link. I'm pretty sure that there's a way you can do that. If I figure it out, I might make a quick video or a short or something on that, but I think there's a way to do that because that's actually pretty hard. I feel like there's a way you can do that you kind of just like start the process and then it checks it for you. They're not that hard. Just look at them. Look at them and try to do them on your account. That's definitely a good thing to be doing at the beginning. And then these are the ones that you want to probably look at almost even closer because you want to get to the point where you're getting through these parts. So it says part 1 of 5 right here. And if you get held up on, I mean, you can't really control if you summon a force champion, but you will summon one before too long. But like upgrading a champion skill, if you just sit on that and you only need to upgrade 1 skill and you didn't notice it or you forget about it, you'll hold yourself up for moving on to parts 2, 3, 4, and 5. So definitely take a peek at these. There's ones for champions, one for artifacts, one one's for dungeons. Here you go. This is kind of more what I was talking about. Can't clear stage 2 of the Void Keep, A, until you beat stage 1, but that should be pretty easy, and B, until the Void Keep is open. So you want to look at these and make sure like you go look at the keep that's open and like, did I already do that one? And come back here and check. Arena, I would say very easy. Well, maybe simple is a better word. It's very simple. Arena can be difficult, but I think starting out with Ugo, oh my God, like you're really going to be set. And you know, depending whatever champion you redeem with the free promo code, you could have gotten a legendary like Loki, who's a really good supporter. You could have gotten Sun Wukong, who's a great nuker. And then you're going to have kind of a whole different experience than what I'm doing. But I like the champions that I chose and I'm excited. Let's go ahead and just, hell, let's YOLO for the video. Our mods, I would love, we already got Tagoar. Let's do this. Let's just see if we get lucky. I'd even take an epic right now because this account's like brand. Oh my God. No, that's actually, wow. We just got a huge healer. Maybe not huge for the game, but like at this point, free to play, pulling a random ancient on a level 15 account. That's kind of crazy. Like, look at this. He's not OP, but he is underrated. And he's actually in the daily login way down here. Look at that. 240 and I just got him on day 2, maybe day 3, whatever it is. That's big. Chance of placing leech, which means all your champions that have the life drinker ability in their masteries, which when we get to masteries we'll go over that, or just have big damage, will heal themselves by hitting someone who has a leech on them. Attacks all enemies, decreases attack and crit damage. I don't really know what the point of decreased crit damage is, but you know, hey, it's a debuff and this books to 100% when you book him. He does kind of need a good amount of books, so I probably won't be booking him, maybe ever. I tend to be like stingy with books, but 60% chance for decreased attack is still awesome. And then this is the cool part. Attacks all enemies, which means that his healing ability is an attack, which can help you get through that last little, you know, eke out that last bit of damage when your team is struggling. Places 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. So the next 2 turns, if they don't have the buff removed, they'll heal for 15%. And places an additional 7.5 continuous heal buff on all allies for 1 turn if at least 1 enemy is hit with a critical hit. So, you know, you could hit anybody that isn't strong affinity to him with a critical hit if he's at 100%. Otherwise, you just hope he crits somebody on a low crit chance and then you just get a bonus heal. But really, just having those continuous heals on the team for free, just pulling them out of a random shard is cool. That's cool. It's really early in the account. We'll definitely go into in another video kind of how to set up your arena. But for now, just get in there, put all your best champions in. If you struggle, see who's struggling, see if they need some gear, kind of play with your substats. Like I said, you do you on your account, but I'm going to try really hard not to be spending a ton of silver because even on my level 100 account, it's just constantly gone. You're constantly out of silver. So, yeah, Future Vamp here. Just got back from work, guys. Do you like my work, duds? Anyway, the editor needs an outro stat. Ain't nobody got time to change. And besides, I don't take my clothes off for free. Watch yourself. Got my eye on you. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the video. In part 2, we're going to talk about the epic champions you got using my promo link in the description box and the free login legendary, Alice the Wanderer, that everybody can get just for logging into Raid for 7 days. We're going to go over their kits, talk about my thoughts on them, and all of that's going to happen right here in this video. Go ahead. It's right there. Click it. Oh, come on. You know you want to click it. Click it.